As you fly into Rio, you can't help but be overtaken with the spectacular view of the coast. But there are so many other things to Rio, as you'll discover. There's the Maracanã, the largest Olympic stadium in the world, holding 200,000 people and host to the largest football game of all time. There's the incredible architecture in the city with its Portuguese heritage. There's so many buildings, and the National Museum and art galleries are certainly not worth missing when you're in Rio, so make sure you check them out. Rio is home to theatres, plays and musicals, the like of which are comparable to anywhere in the world, so don't just stick to the beaches, okay? Europeans first encountered Guanabara Bay, where Rio is situated, on January 1, 1502, hence the name Rio de Janeiro, January River. When in Rio, I usually stay in Botafogo. It's the suburb next to Copacabana and Ipanema and situated on a quiet bay away from the craziness of those other suburbs. The view of the Sugarloaf is only beaten by the actual act of going up the Sugarloaf, getting the cable car and checking out the panorama from above. The view is literally spectacular and it's a must-see when you're in Rio. Rio is home to some of the largest shanty or favelas, as they call them, in the world. Rocinho and many places where many poor people have come to live. It's a miraculous city in Rio where the rich live right next to the poor. But once you do head to the beaches, there's of course Copacabana and Ipanema. Copacabana is where most of the black local people go to the beach, whereas Ipanema is where the richer, more exclusive people tend to play. Of course, Rio is home to the bikini G-string, as well as, well, a bevy of some of the most beautiful women you'll find anywhere on earth. The system on Ipanema is that there are posts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through to 10. Each post represents a different section. So for example, in post 8 you have the gay section, in post 9 you have the young people section, in post 10 you have where, well, shall we say, the gringo hunter types hang out. One of the other great things of Rio is it's surrounded by a tropical forest, so you can also go for some amazing hikes and see some great waterfalls, tropical rainforest, and take some time off from the craziness of a city of 6 million. Having got your dose of sun and recreation for the day, it's time to get some rest, because at night time Rio really comes alive. It's one of the greatest party towns, as you're probably aware, on earth. So where do we go? Well, one of the greatest spots to go is Lapa. Lapa is located right near a train station or a little aqueduct that runs nearby. It has awesome clubs, you know, probably 30 or 40, with everything from samba music to hip-hop to techno, you name it. So you can come out, grab yourself a cheap cocktail for $1.50, and it's party time on the streets of Lapa. So let's go and check out a few clubs, shall we? Outside of Carnival, New Year's Eve is a wild celebration. I was there on New Year's Eve when they had the Black Eyed Peas playing on Copacabana Beach in front of 2 million people. So check it out and let's party New Year's Eve style Rio de Janeiro. Enjoy, everyone. Okay, so from Rio we're going to make our way up to Salvador. From there we're going to scoot across to Iguazu Falls. Let's get going, everyone. The action in Salvador centres around the Pelourinho in the centre of the city. On Tuesday nights particularly, there's bands and shows galore. The city of Salvador is notable for its cuisine, music and architecture. It's also the wealthiest city in what's the poorest region of the country. The Pelourinho is renowned for its Portuguese colonial architecture with historical monuments dating back from the 17th century and has been declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO.
É muita treta, viver num lugar onde ninguém te respeita, onde a polícia rola deita em cima dos humildes, ela espanca uma pá de cidadão de bem.
Salvador has an escarpment that divides it into the upper town and the lower town. The former is some 85 metres above the latter.
Que deixa o inimigo levar a riqueza do seu próprio berço. Graças a ele o gringo vem aqui e monta empresa. Escraviza a mão de obra. Meu povo fica com o pior, fica com as sobras. É muita treta, vira paz cada vez mais distante. Ouvir tiros e saber que são meus manos se afogam.
The most famous drumming band in all of Brazil is Olodum, who are always featured at the end of Carnival each year. You may have seen them in the Michael Jackson They Don't Really Care About Us video.
Reflita, insista por melhores condições pro seu povo e pra você. Para isso é necessário correto proceder. De que adianta posar de arma na mão?
One of the other things that Salvador is famous for is capoeira, which is the Brazilian fight dancing style that's been around for a long time since the slave period. You can see it and people practicing its art on the streets as well as in many schools and colleges in the area.
De novo, se mineiro pelo dinheiro, se mineiro pela fama, pela grana, mas alerto, a Deus não se engana.
Por isso não meto mais de ladrão, não pago de otário com arma na mão. Não vendo ilusão pros meus irmãos, mas prego a revolução de forma não violenta. Infelizmente, querer paz é muita treta.
Iguazu Falls are the waterfalls of the Iguazu River located on the border of Brazil and Argentina. The name Iguazu comes from a combination of tribal words, I meaning water and Wazu meaning big, literally meaning big water. Legend has it that a god planned to marry a beautiful aborigine named Naipe, who fled with her mortal lover Taroba in a canoe. In a rage, the god sliced the river, creating the waterfalls, condemning the lovers to an eternal fall. The waterfall system consists of 275 falls along a 2.7 kilometre stretch of the Iguazu River. The Devil's Throat is the most impressive of all and the one that marks the border between Argentina and Brazil. The falls can be reached from two main towns, Foz do Iguazu on the Brazilian side and Puerto Iguazu on the Argentinian side. On the Brazilian side there's a long walkway along the canyon with an extension to the base of the Devil's Throat. From the Argentinian side you take the train Ecologica de la Selva, the ecological train, which brings you to a different walkway, the Paseo Garganta de Diablo, which is a kilometre long trail bringing you directly over the falls of the Devil's Throat. Iguazu is often compared with the southern African Victoria Falls, which separate Zambia and Zimbabwe. Iguazu is in fact wider, but because it's split into 270 discrete falls, Victoria has a larger curtain of water. The water falling over Iguazu has a surface area of over 1.3 million square feet. But the great thing about Iguazu is that you can get right up and close to a 270-degree panorama of the waterfalls around you, the Devil's Throat pouring in at you from three different sides. In addition to the falls themselves, you can go hiking through the local forest area where there's all kinds of wildlife, all kinds of plants, and you can just relax and enjoy the tranquility as well as the roaring sound of the waterfalls. It's up to you.